All right, I didn't even know what to title this darn thing, so I came up with sustainable digital assets. Blech. Let me explain it to you guys. I'll walk you through this. So first of all, once again, thank you so much for coming. It's so cool to see this happening in Philly. I'm sick of speaking at South by, sick of speaking at Dreamforce and seeing these packed houses. It's nice to see this happen here in my hometown where I can walk home in 2 minutes. So I hate the phrase go viral. I hate it with a passion. I hate it so much that it's not just my second slide, it's my third slide. I hate the phrase go viral. Never say it again. And remember, I live in Philly. So if I hear it in Philly, I'm gonna hunt you down, I'm gonna smack you. Because honestly, when you publish content, like this content that's published on eBay's blog, the truth is nobody gives a crap. Because you're writing garbage to fulfill an editorial calendar, right? So the truth is, this is eBay. If eBay can't get people to share their stuff with their 25 million visitors every 2 seconds, what are your odds? Probably pretty low. So no matter how hard you pray to the content gods, the go viral gods, please God, let this go viral, like it just happens, people just aren't impressed. They're just not impressed. And they're voting with those little zeros. I want all of you to go to your blog, if you run one, or your company has one, today, and look at how many things you've written that have zeros next to them. And hopefully after I show you some things today, you'll change the way you develop content. Not because somebody says, I think 3 a week is good. People don't give a crap about your content. They don't care. And they're showing you that, but you keep pumping the crap out, right? Like, think about it. People go, ooh, I don't want to share that. And then you go, got another one for you next week. Here it comes. Boom, 0. Yeah. Can't wait to do it again next week. Boom, 0. It's funny. Like, we just keep writing crap. And people say, we don't want it. But we don't want to look at those numbers, right? Change the content you develop. Change the content you write. And I want to give you guys a little bit of a formula and a case study on how we've done this ourselves, because you're losing the battle for attention. Yes, this is always going to be a vulgar presentation. What are you talking about? Not vulgar. Seriously. Like, every other word out of my mouth is something my poor mom is just like, Jesus, that poor boy. But today I think we can make some of you guys into content champions. I'm going to show you guys exactly how we did it for ourselves. And I have a few clients I'm going to be able to share with you as well because they're nice enough to let me share some of this stuff with you. So when I'm coming up with great content ideas, for some reason, most of them come to me where they probably come to you guys as well. On the toilet. I travel a lot. My wife's a light sleeper. Never mind. We'll talk about that tonight at the bar. So I'm literally thinking to myself, okay, I don't want to wake my wife up, but I'm up already. It's 5 a.m. I'm in some city. I'm like, let me just go to the bathroom and just start working. And it hit me that if I slowed down my searches on Google and typed in what I was looking for 1 letter at a time, I could see what people wanted. I could see what they searched for. And then I could write stuff that they wanted by just not hitting enter on Google. It's the simplest tip you're ever going to hear. So that's all I did. I just slowed down my propensity to google.com, search, enter. Stop that starting today. You will become a better content marketer. I guarantee it. So yes, I am telling you to just type stuff into Google and wait. And watch the magic that ensues. It's really funny when you do searches like this. First guy to laugh is like, darn it. I don't know who it was over here, but I guess your wife calls you some interesting stuff. This is Google. Like, why would you ask Google these questions? Think about the ads you're going to get targeted when you're like, why does my wife call me names? Dominatrix ads, like, nice. Yes, mistress. Beat me up some more. And then I went to myself, I go, well, how often does this go? Wow, yeah. People are looking for this stuff. It's crazy. Like, why does my wife hate me? Like, why does she hate me for no reason? That's the problem, right? Like, there is not a no reason. Like, when your wife hates you, there's definitely a reason, right, guys? Watch the lamp that just fell. So yeah, people type this stuff into Google, right? Start typing questions into Google like this. Just type in should I, hit the space bar and see what people are searching for. They want to know if they should have bangs or if they should refinance. Very different decisions to me. Should I text him is interesting because it ranks a lot higher. A lot more people search for should I text him than should I text her. These are the things people are looking for when you write your content. Do you do this? Do you do this? Is this where your ideas come from? Because then you're going to meet a need. So there I am on the throne, thinking about marketing, because I can't stop it. It's like contagious with me. I'm always like, ooh, what can I come up with now? And it hit me. I wonder if people search for things like this. And they do. And then I looked at what actually ranked well on Google, and it looked like this. Yahoo Answers, seriously? Some of it's from 2009. Half these companies didn't even exist in 2009. So you know the content's crap, right? So then I said, with some of my friends over at O3 World, I said, why don't we build something like this that tells people how different companies make money? Alex is here. Alex worked on this. Good to see you here, dude. And it's up at rcs.searinteractive.com. RCS is shorthand for real company shit, because that's what we do. And a lot of people think that SEO is a bunch of fake company shit, and that's not what we do. So we do real company shit at Sear. But what's also interesting is look at the numbers. 15,000 people on Twitter liked, or Facebook liked it, 10,000 tweets, and yeah, you think Google Plus is a ghost town? Not to 2,100 people. All we did was not hit enter on Google and get the idea. And then we decided to produce something that wasn't just a long paragraph of information that Yahoo Answers was showing. Heck, half of the Yahoo Answers were like one-sentence answers. And then all these guys picked it up. We didn't even promote it to them. They just picked it up on their own, because one person tweeted it out that has a good following and thought that it was interesting. And that's what he wrote. He wrote, this is interesting. And then interestingly enough, he's followed by the people that write for places like this. And then all the traffic came. So I'm going to ask you guys to start doing big content. Stop doing the, how many articles can I write? You know, I think I need 200 a month. You're going to get zeros. And do sustainable content. Like, not like it needs to be hosted at some eco-friendly web host. I'm going to explain to you what I mean when I say sustainable content. Let's get into it. So usually, this is how social looks, right? You know, oh, I roll something out, it gets a bunch of visitors. So this is the real data from that thing I just showed you. We launched it 18 months ago. It's got 500,000 unique visitors to it. And we didn't even program it right because I was in a real rush to get it out. So there's some of the other data skewed. But spike and fail, that's what we're used to, right? Big spike if you're lucky, and then after that, nobody uses it. Wrong. 320,000 of those visitors came in the first 3 months. 260,000 of them came in the last 15. And that number's only going to get bigger. The spike is over. Is it going viral? No. Are tons of people visiting it? Yep. And it started to trend down over time. That's fine. You know, this is, look at the dates. November 13th, 2013, December, January. But then out of nowhere, Google started liking it more. Maybe people started searching more. It got 5,000 visitors the day Yahoo decided to buy Tumblr. Do you want to know why? I see the heads nodding. The smart marketers, we're hiring like crazy. Those of you that were nodding already? You, and the two of you. Yes, please talk to me after this. You got it instantaneously because it ranked for how does Tumblr make money. And it was sitting at #1 on Google. And then I get 5,000 visitors in a day. No more zeros for us. January 26, 2014. 2,300 visitors came that day from social. I have no freaking idea how it happened. I didn't even know what happened until I started putting my slides together. I was like, what the freak happened that day? It's interesting. I'm not having to develop something new. I'm not having to come up with a new idea to get more traffic into my site. I did something once, 18 months ago, and it's paying dividends, like now. Like there are people on it, literally like now. 2,600, 2,200 visitors, not bad. And this is what that long tail looks like. Remember how it looked really flat? Not once you zoom in and realize that there are hundreds of people every day that get to this thing. And you can see the search phrases they're using. How does Tumblr make money? How does Pandora make money? How does Google make money? How does Google Maps make money? How do internet companies make money? How does LinkedIn make money? This is sustainable. This is what happens when content and search kind of come together. Because if you produce this with your cool flashy thing and it doesn't get indexed by Google, you missed out on that whole 250,000 I just showed. But if you know how to develop this with a smart team like the guys at O3, who we built this with, it just gets traffic for us every freaking day. 2,300 people just show up and go to it. I don't know how it happened. I'll take it. It didn't go viral. Not in my opinion. It did something different. It actually went helpful. It went helpful. When people get to it, they're like, I was wondering how Pandora made money. Click, oh, there we go. And while I'm here, let me look at some of the other ones, right? So when we talk about the future, I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that we see happening in the future. One of them is paid content promotion. See those little ads at the bottom of like Time Magazine and CNN? Oftentimes they're powered by a company called Taboola, and we've got a couple people here at Sear that are working on this. So Wine Enthusiast is one of our clients. Their magazine is awesome. And we were helping promote their magazine. So they have a bunch of different articles on their site, and those articles had already been picked up by news media outlets already, or other important bloggers. So we knew that people liked this content. So we said, why don't we just throw some money at it and see if we get it in front of a broader audience, if we get a big take to our existing content people already liked. Some really interesting things happened. So impressions, blah, right? But for us as a search company, part of what we need to do is to build links to this content to help it to get more visibility in Google. It built 82 links on its own by just showing it to more people and making sure more people saw it. Chris, how am I on time?
You're good.
All right, because I'll just talk about this stuff forever.
I'll give you 5 minutes.
Awesome. Wow, I got more than 5 minutes. Sweet. All right, so here you can look at the different articles that we did. We can look at the clicks and the links. What's really neat is I can't show all of them here, but these are the sites where they were listed, and I could start to make inferences. So like the site at number 5, it's a site we all visit and know and love. They had a little bit of an overlap because it wasn't new visitors to Wine Enthusiast. It was the lowest one of new visits, which means they're existing people that already been to their site. This helps to influence things like your media buy. Oh, well, if we're getting on, using Taboola to get on CNN, and we realize that most of those people are already at your site versus someone like Fox News, maybe we should do some media there and promote it because our audience already knows us. Will we see a brand lift as a result because we're a recognized brand to those people? You can do a lot with this data. This is what happens when you combine SEO, analytics, and content. Breaking down those silos and work together does amazing things like this. And our PPC team is A/B testing the hell out of titles and images to see how we can get more people to click on it. And as people saw it, they were more likely to tweet it. And as they tweeted it more often and shared it on social, more of their friends saw it. And as more of their friends saw it, they linked to it. And as they linked to it, their rankings went up, 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 up. And now they can't even sell all their ad inventory because we're getting them so much traffic. But that is from all of this combined. I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just that when I get close to that, I get a little bit worried about making your ears pop. You can do a study. We just kind of played around with this. I mean, this is like a search company talking about these things, but this is where Google's going. We're following. So what's interesting is 76% of all people on Facebook in the UK are intoxicated in their photos. Interesting. Notice it's on that little site Mashable. Notice it's got 45,000 shares. Like, how do you really know this, right? Like, how can you really tell? Doesn't matter. They got news for it. Time Magazine picked it up. Today Show, The Next Web. Yeah, they just got links and CNET. They got links and press and links and press and links and press off of this and putting it on someone else's site. Remember, if your site has no one showing up today and you put epic content on it, nobody's still going to see it. Sometimes it's better to take great content that you've developed and put it on someone else's site that already has an audience versus trying to be like, I want this for myself so I can get all the virality. You're not going to get it. They did it again. You women are bad. I would have never thought of this. 25% of female Facebook users admit to posting unflattering photos of their friends on purpose. Y'all are bad, man. And what happened here? It went viral again, right? Same company. They figured out the formula and they're doing it over and over and over again. We're going to do a study, and then we're going to get it up on Mashable or Gawker, and then it's going to go nuts. So we said, we'll follow along. So one of our clients is AWeber. Woohoo! Yeah, AWeber, where you at? Yes. So everybody here clap for AWeber because they're paying for the space that you're freaking in. So clap it up for AWeber. Thank you, guys. This would not happen without you and your 7 years of support. So they had a scholarship that they gave out, or not gave out, they asked guys and girls that were going to college to fill out this survey as part of this entering the scholarship. And we turned that into an insight and a study. And we ended up on Mashable. And we found out that 18% of your teens would stop communicating altogether if their favorite social network was shut down. This is a great way to turn all your kids into mutes. Learn to do a DDoS attack to Facebook, and your kids will shut up, I guess. Or 18% of your kids will. So content to get on the news has been something that's been very interesting at SEER. Remember, we're a search company. We're supposed to go out and get links and do keyword stuff, but we're getting clients on the news sometimes with some of our ideas. I met with this guy. Anybody here know Frank DeMizio? Yeah, one. Come on, this guy was keeping our freaking city safe. This is the guy that was running the Philadelphia Twitter handle for the police. And it was actually really helpful and useful. And because he got people to change their minds. So one day I wanted to just meet him for coffee, met him, and he started telling me some things. And I said, you should meet with one of these guys. My company name's Ethan. We're working on a client, got an idea. We had a client that was getting her ass kicked by Google. And after talking to Frank, we came up with this concept to allow all of you, if you go to Community Cam, as you're walking the streets in your city and you see a camera up, you can record it. It'll automatically record your GPS coordinates. So if you're ever the victim of crime, you can tell the police exactly where all the cameras are on the route of the person that might have left or taking your stuff or whatever. Not that that ever happens in Philly. Hope you didn't leave your GPS in your car. Still love this city, just being honest. So our client ends up on the news because of this. It still hasn't gone viral. It's just gone helpful. You've ever been the victim of crime? If you are, or you ever have been, it sure would be nice for somebody to have crowdsourced all the different locations of all the cameras in your community. This is taking off in Chicago, Portland, Philly. We did it ourselves. We seeded it ourselves. We walked around the neighborhood. So Northern Liberties is well covered. Don't do too much dirt here. This is an infographic, right? And one that I didn't even like that much. And the reason why it's so fuzzy and you can't read it is because I had to take a screen grab of it on Fox News. So we had a client develop a study about how people perceived online degrees. And that's our client being grilled by somebody at Fox News for 14 freaking minutes. I don't know how PR and advertising people value that, but we didn't value it the right way. We're like, ooh, we got you a link on Fox News. They're like, you got us 14 minutes of unpaid media. I was like, well, what would you pay for that? They're like, you don't even want to know. And I was like, I'm undercharging. Damn it. All right. So there was a PR event up here earlier, and I got a little chance to sit up in the mezzanine, and I was listening to some things, and I was like, oh man, I got to add this tip in, because all my PR friends here are going to love me for this. Who in here was PR people? Some? Most of you guys left? All right, fine. Well, check this out. This is how we're getting in front of journalists. So we're finding somebody that's a journalist, right? Muckrack is a great site for this. I just added these slides in, because after hearing that, I was like, I got to show this, which is why I'm worried about time. So Evelyn Russley is a journalist. And we noticed that from time to time she would say she's doing something for a story in Twitter. And you could see results in Twitter. Do a from search, it's an advanced search in the quotes. But then I used TweetDeck. And what I then did is I took this for a story column. I created a list of journalists, right? So I got a Twitter list of journalists. Twitter lists aren't useful. You're probably going to use them after this. I took all those journalists, put them in a separate Twitter list. Then in TweetDeck, you can actually tell TweetDeck, only show me tweets from people on this list, but I don't want all of her tweets. I just want the tweets where she's saying for a story. You can do that as a filter. So now you can see under here where it says content, I'll try to point to it, for a story from any journalist, and it's just going to fill that column up. If I am tracking down journalists to try to get media, press, PR, TV, I want to know what they're talking about and what they're looking to do a story on as soon as humanly possible. And right there, when I'm posting pictures of my dog, I'm seeing that there's freaking journalists that are looking for stories that are specific to what my client may promote. You can also put a URL in to TweetDeck, and it'll show you that your assets that you've put out there on social, it'll just show you that they're continuing to get shared time and time and time again. And as you can see, there's that crazy thing that we built, and it's like some guy in Kazakhstan somewhere tweeted it and got us a bunch of visits. So I got to shout out the person that originally gave me part of that idea. I tweaked it, made it a little bit better. But Steph Bedell, she used to work with us, and she's just amazing. So I had to at least shout her out because it wasn't entirely my idea. So when you're trying to get your content out there and you're small and you're just starting out, for those of you who aren't going to go viral tomorrow, now remember, I didn't do anything too special. I was sitting on the crapper, and I didn't hit enter on Google. So I don't want to hear about, I don't have the budget to do, shut up. You got to crap at some point, and you're usually on Google, and all I'm asking you to do is when you go to hit enter, just don't do it. All that's free so far. What you do with that data is up to you. Whether you choose to build something epic, or if you just write 20 paragraphs and let some intern write it for you, that's up to you. But you need to know who feeds who. So if I told you that you could get on the Today Show, you'd be like, hey, I'd like to get on the Today Show's website. Probably not a bad site to be on, right? I still have more than 5 minutes? Wow. So we came out with some stupid infographic and got the big spike. Now, this isn't a helpful example, but it's a know who feeds who example. So if you notice, they're saying that this content came from the Tech News Daily. Look for sites like the Today Show that have partners who aggregate from other places. And you get on those places, you then get on the Today Show's website. Today Show's got a lot more traffic. How many of you have heard of Tech News Daily? One, very, it's not a porn site, sweetheart. You can put your hand up, Tech News Daily. Yeah, it actually is. I just got her, you dirtbag. Dirtbag. So most of you haven't heard of Tech News Daily, but most of you have heard of the Today Show. So if you want to get on the Today Show, get on Tech News Daily. Someone that works downstairs, her name is Emma. She's awesome. She's sick, so don't stay anywhere near her today unless you've got one of those fumigation outbreak suits on. But she got interviewed by a former professor. I think she went to Ithaca or somewhere. She got interviewed by a former professor, Anne-Marie McLean, whatever her name is, right? And she writes for Career Fuel. So she wrote this thing for Career Fuel. And then one day I was looking at our traffic numbers, and I go, how the freak did we end up on Yahoo Small Business? Oh, so that professor that wrote for that also writes for Business to Community. She copied, pasted it, put it up on Business to Community, and that feeds Yahoo Small Business. Do not skip over the feeders or the feedees looking for the feeders. So that is all that I have. If I actually still have a little bit of time, if I can actually take a question or two, because I shoved in a lot of slides at the end. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate it. I'll take questions.
Maybe one or two questions. Maybe one or two. Anyone? 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 It's a rare opportunity. I'm close. We'll go with one right here. One or two questions I have. Any other hands?
So you mentioned maybe not delegating your content to an intern. What's that decision-making process like? I mean, what if the intern's really dope?
If the intern's dope, give it to him. So you know what's interesting is we gave 10 grand to one of our interns and just said, go play with it and figure out what happens on Taboola and Outbrain and NRelate and all those paid media sites. She came back and killed it. She's amazing. And you guys can't have her because we already locked her up this year. And she was only a freshman last year. So when I say intern, what I mean is very often, most people aren't giving 10 grand to their interns and saying, go play with it. I just want to learn from that. If I learn from losing $10,000 and we learn a lot from it, good for us, right? Because it puts us ahead of the marketplace. But if you just go out and blow it and we don't learn anything from it, no good. So it wasn't about the person being an intern. It was about their aptitude, right? And as long as you put out something great, the problem is when you go, hey, Will, I was sitting on the crapper the other day, and I didn't hit enter on Google, and I found out that, guys want to know why their wives pop their zits on their back, and I had my intern write that. And you're like, that's not going to take. That's different. They're like, that's what you told me to do that day in the church. And I'm like, that wasn't it. Pictures and a compilation of videos on YouTube might be disgusting, but it might take. So the point there is not who you use. I have some amazing interns, right? But it's that the person that puts this content together has to do it in a way that's significantly better than what Google's already ranking. Or you're not going to get that long tail of Google's value. So you might get your spike. But then after that, this thing just continues to get traffic for us for free because we built it really well the first time. So just don't take shortcuts on your content.
What do you think about pay-per-click and what kind of role it would play in balance with SEO and that sort of thing?
Good question, because there's probably somebody in my company here like, darn it, you cut out the pay-per-click slide. How far back can I go before I run out of time? So when I go back to, it's coming, and it'll be worth it, I swear. There we go. So when we promoted this content for this one client of ours, for wine enthusiasts, on these paid search channels that were paid content promotion. It was funny because what we ended up doing is the SEO team kind of went, oh, look at these high traffic pages already that fell off at some point. Let's get them back out there and see what happens. Our PPC team was the group of people that were like, you SEO people don't like A/B test. You don't try to test different words and see what entices the click through. You don't really like test the image that often and see what kind of happens. We kind of throw stuff out and we wait 3 months for see how Google reacted, and then we go and make changes. PPC people are like, what are you doing? So what we did to launch this content acceleration is what we call it. We took Audrey on our PPC team and Drew on our SEO team, and they're together running this. Because what Audrey's been able to bring to this is that, that data-driven part of, well, heck, if Time Magazine isn't doing that great, let's turn them off and turn this one on that's doing really well. And now that I've got those two, let's A/B test this title to see which one gets the higher click-through rate. And I cut out too many of the slides for this, but there's a whole set of slides on all the different things that we A/B tested for this client, and how we just kept squeezing more out of that $1,700 spend to help it really kind of take off and get them a bunch more traffic.
You do the testing through PPC?
Yes.
Then that kind of tells, that'll gauge what the organic might do because we're able to accelerate it by putting some money.
So we're really kind of using PPC for two things. One is we want to understand user behavior. And it's like your canary in the coal mine. So we're able to kind of test things out on PPC, figure out what people react to. So if you really want to figure out how to make something go viral, the way to do it is you buy a bunch of traffic to 2 different assets. You build 2 different assets, and you test both of them, and you see which one took off the best, got the most engagement, and then you launch the one that actually took. So we would use something like Reddit, paid StumbleUpon, Taboola. We would do all those things just to see how people reacted to the 2. And if one did significantly better than the other, that's the one we roll out for the client. Cool. Did I answer your question? Awesome.
Can we give Will a round of applause? Thank you, Will.
Thank you.